science students. I'm going to make some videos talking about the activities that you need to do for the 3 sections that we didn't finish before we left school, because I had some questions on it. So I'm going to start with section 3 called chemical reactions. This is your activity that you need to put in your science journal. There are 2 parts to this activity. One will go on the top of your page and one will go closer to the bottom of your page. So let's start with the first one that says parts of a chemical equation. Okay, parts of a chemical equation, and you have this equation written on your paper with some boxes around. You have, let's see, I'll use another color. You have a box up here. You have a box up here that points to this. This box points to these 2 numbers. You have a box over here that points to this. And you have a box here that points to that. And then down here on the bottom, you have a box for this, and you have a box that points to that, and you got a box there, and one that points to that. Then you have all these words that you're supposed to cut out and fill in. So let's see what these words, what these things that the boxes are pointing to mean. Okay, right here where this first box where it's pointing to the 6 and the 2, those are coefficients. It's just like in math, when you have a number in front of an X. Those are the coefficients when you have a number in front of the element. This arrow in the middle means produces or yields. It's kind of like the equal sign in the chemical equation. And then we have all of the things on this side of that arrow are called the reactants. And all of the things on this side of the arrow are called the products. And then we have these little things, these little letters or 2 letters in parentheses afterwards. If it's an S, like here, that means that that's a solid. If it's an AQ, that means it is aqueous. That means it's like dissolved in something. If we have a G, that means gas. And if we have a number like this down below, that is a subscript. So that's what you need to do for the first part of your activity for section 3. Then the next part looks like this. You've got an equation A and an equation B, and you have questions about it. So let's see what we can say about these questions. The first question is, what are the reactants? Reactants, let's see if I can spell. What are the reactants in equation A and equation B? In equation A, the reactants are hydrogen and oxygen. In equation B, the reactants are magnesium chloride and sodium. Those are the reactants. Now for number 2, it says, what are the products? What are the products? In equation A, the product is, there's only one, water, H2O. In equation B, the products are NaCl, which is sodium chloride, which is salt, and magnesium. Question 3. What do the coefficients tell you about the ratio of the reactants? In equation A, we've got a 2 coefficient and a 1 coefficient. If there's no number there, that means there's a 1 in front of it. So our ratio of coefficients are 2 to 1. That means we need 2 hydrogen units for every 1 oxygen unit. Over here in equation B, we've got a coefficient of 1 and 2. So our ratio is 1 to 2. 1 unit of magnesium, we need 1 unit of magnesium chloride for every 2 units of sodium. That's what that's telling us. Question 4, what is the physical state of the products? So you're going to look at this thing in the parentheses. In equation A, because this is an L, that's a liquid. In equation B, you have 2 products. You have one that's aqueous, and you have one that's a solid. And then it says write equation A as a sentence. So that means we're going to use words and not these symbols. So we're going to start with the first part of equation A, which is this. This is hydrogen gas, and we need 2 of them. So we're going to say 2 units of hydrogen gas combined with, now let's look at what it's combined with, 1 unit of oxygen gas produces or yields, that's the equal sign or the arrow. What does it produce? It produces 2 units of liquid water. Now, I don't know if you really need to say liquid because it could be solid or something. So liquid water, because it tells us here that it's a liquid. Okay, that is how you do the activity for section 3. Please let me know if you have any other questions.